Imagine this scene with me. Celebrations fill Pride Rock. Every eye is on King Simba as he watches his daughter Kiara crowned beside Kovu. The happy ending we all saw. But what if that wasn't the real ending? What if, after a few days, that joy twisted into a nightmare no one ever expected? And here's the shocking question. What if Kovu betrayed Simba's trust after marrying Kiara? It sounds insane at first, right? We're so used to seeing Kovu as the redeemed hero, the lion who left behind his dark past to live in peace and love with Kiara. But if we dig a little deeper, this theory starts to reveal some chilling details. It opens the door to a story no one ever dared to imagine. Stay with me until the end, because the truth here could change the way you see Kovu, Simba, and even Kiara forever. The theory is simple. Kovu never fully escaped his past. A piece of Zira's plans and twisted ideas still lived inside him. And once he got what he wanted, marriage to Kiara, he no longer had to hide anything. In fact, it gave him the perfect chance to strike. A chance to take the throne and claim the power he'd been taught was his since birth. A power no one would dare challenge. This flips the story completely. The hero who gave everything for love becomes the traitor who destroys trust. And the king who welcomed him as a son finds himself facing a plot he never saw coming. But is there anything to support this? Could the film itself be hiding little clues that make this theory possible? That's where things get interesting. The first clue lies in Kovu himself. From the very beginning, his role wasn't random. Zira raised him as a weapon against Simba. His entire childhood was filled with the belief that the throne was his birthright, and that Mufasa and Simba were the enemy. Sure, meeting Kiara changed him, but can years of brainwashing really vanish after one quiet moment by a watering hole? Hard to believe, right? Maybe some part of Zira's training never died, waiting for the perfect moment to resurface. So we have to ask, was marrying Kiara truly an act of love, or a calculated move in a bigger plan? The second clue comes during the fire, when Simba confronts Kovu. Simba already accused him of betrayal then, throwing harsh words and banishing him from the Pride Lands. That wound was deep, and pain like that doesn't just disappear, no matter how sweet the reconciliation scene looked at the end. Anger and resentment can sit quietly in the heart, waiting for the right spark to ignite them. So, was their reconciliation genuine, or was Kovu simply wearing a mask while secretly holding on to thoughts of revenge? And then there's the third clue, Zira herself. Even after her death, her voice lingers like a ghost in Kovu's mind. We all remember her whispers. "You are the chosen one, the true heir of Scar." Words like that don't just vanish. They echo, they linger, they become part of who you are. Imagine Kovu, sitting beside Kiara after their marriage, suddenly hearing that voice again. Why live in Simba's shadow, when the throne should be yours? All of this raises a serious question. What if Kovu wasn't 100% honest? What if his feelings for Kiara were real, but mixed with a thirst for power? Imagine that thought creeping into his heart, just once. How would things unfold then? That's the foundation of this theory. Kovu, the lion we see as a loving hero, may still carry a darker side inside him. A side that didn't die with Zira, but has been waiting patiently for its moment to strike. And that leads us to the scariest part. What if Kiara and Kovu's marriage wasn't a happy ending at all, but the beginning of an even bigger conflict? A conflict that could tear the Pride Lands apart. Picture this beginning. Years have passed since Kiara and Kovu's marriage. The Pride Lands seem peaceful, and Simba feels at ease knowing his daughter is by his side and Kovu is now part of the royal family. Everything looks perfect. But beneath that calm surface, seeds of conflict are quietly growing. Kovu, despite his loyal smile and devoted words, starts to feel a hidden weight pressing on his heart. Every night, sitting beside Kiara on top of Pride Rock, he stares at the stars. And in his mind, he hears his mother's voice. "You are the chosen one. The throne is yours, Kovu." He tries to silence it, but the whisper only grows stronger. Soon, it becomes a haunting question he can't escape. Why live in Simba's shadow when I was destined to be king? The first cracks of betrayal show in the smallest details. Kovu no longer speaks openly with Kiara as he once did. He becomes secretive, distant, carrying thoughts he won't share. Kiara, with her sharp instincts, senses something has changed. She tries to convince herself it's just the stress of new responsibilities. But inside, doubts begin to pile up like storm clouds ready to break. Then comes a dangerous step. Kovu starts meeting with the hyenas. Yes, the same hyenas who were supposed to be banished after Scar's fall. Some of them survived, hiding in the shadows, waiting for revenge. And Kovu finds himself drawn to them. At first, it's just short encounters, casual words about anger and the past. But soon, those talks turn into something more, a deadly alliance. The hyenas swear loyalty to him. They remind him that Simba will never see him as a true king, that no matter what he does, he'll always be the outsider. Their words sink deep, like venom, fueling the ambition Kovu had buried. Slowly, everything changes. The faithful partner becomes a silent conspirator, weaving plans for a hidden coup. Now, imagine this moment. Kovu standing on a distant cliff, watching Simba speak to his pride. But his gaze isn't filled with admiration anymore. It's sharp, heavy with anger and doubt. And then, a chilling thought strikes him. How can Simba rule as king when I am Scar's true heir? That's the moment he makes a choice that will change everything. But betrayal doesn't happen overnight. Kovu knows one reckless move could expose him. So he plays the long game. He grows more affectionate toward Kiara, more respectful to Simba, more charming to the other lions. Everyone sees him as perfect. But in the shadows, he's spinning a web of deceit. Step by step, he brings the hyenas back into the Pride Lands, claiming they're reformed, that they deserve a second chance. Kiara hesitates. Simba refuses, but Kovu convinces them. The past must be forgiven. The kingdom is strong enough to welcome all who want to help, and little by little, the hyenas return, without anyone realizing this is the beginning of the end. Then, the spark ignites. Simba falls ill. His strength fades, and for the first time, the kingdom feels vulnerable. Kovu sees his golden opportunity, but he doesn't reveal his hand. Instead, he stays close, pretending to be the concerned son-in-law. To everyone else, he looks like the natural heir, and Kiara, blinded by love, supports him with all her heart, never realizing his path is turning darker with every step. With Simba weakened, the Pride Lands begin to split. Some lions rally behind Kovu, believing he's the future. Others stay fiercely loyal to Simba, no matter the cost. Tension grows until the kingdom teeters on the edge of civil war. And then, the unthinkable happens. Kiara uncovers the truth. She discovers Kovu has been meeting the hyenas all along, that he never truly let go of his past. The revelation shatters her. To her, he was always the hero who gave up everything for love. But now, she sees him as something else, a traitor to her father, and a traitor to her heart. Now she faces the hardest question of all. Should she tell Simba the truth and risk losing Kovu forever? Or should she stay silent and watch the kingdom slide into chaos? This is the breaking point. Trust is crumbling. Love is fading. And the Pride Lands themselves are starting to fracture. But this is only the beginning. Because Kovu's plan is far bigger and far darker than anyone ever imagined. The night is pitch black. Fog drapes across the Pride Lands, and the wind howls as if warning of what's to come. Inside his den, Simba sits weak from illness, surrounded by a few loyal lions. Kiara is restless, her heart torn between her love for Kovu and her duty to her father. And Kovu, his time has finally come. He steps into the open with the hyenas behind him, their eyes glowing in the darkness. The other lions stare in shock. Was this really Kovu, their friend, their future king? Or had the truth they ignored all along finally revealed itself? Kovu's voice rises. Simba can no longer protect the Pride Lands. It's time for a new king, a king born to rule. The words strike like thunder. Kiara's eyes widen, tears spilling as she whispers, "Kovu, what have you done?" But he doesn't even look at her. Instead, he declares to everyone, "You all know the truth. I am Scar's heir. The throne has been mine since the beginning." Chaos erupts. Some lions stand firmly with Simba, clinging to their loyalty, while others hesitate, drawn to Kovu's strength in this desperate hour. The Pride Lands split in two, and tension bursts into all-out war. Through the turmoil, Simba rises, frail but proud. His voice trembles, yet carries the weight of a king. "I thought I saw goodness in you. I believed you chose love over hate, but you chose to betray my daughter, and betray yourself." The words cut deep. For a fleeting moment, doubt flickers in Kovu's eyes. Is he truly a traitor? Were his feelings for Kiara nothing but a lie? But behind him, the hyenas chant and push. "You're the king! Don't back down now!" His anger hardens again, and with a roar, he signals the battle to begin. Lions clash, roars thunder, and the kingdom built on unity descends into chaos. And then comes the twist. Kiara, whom everyone thought a victim, steps forward with a courage no one expected. In the middle of the battlefield, she faces Kovu, not as a lover, but as the daughter of a king, as the true heir of Mufasa's spirit. She cries out, "If you truly love me, prove it now. Choose me, or choose the throne." Silence falls. Every eye is fixed on Kovu. His gaze trembles, memories flooding back. Kiara saving him from the fire, teaching him, "We are one." His heart splits in two, half with the hyenas and the throne, half with Kiara and her love. And then, the sky shifts. A faint image of Mufasa appears among the stars, his piercing eyes locked on Kovu. His voice echoes across the Pride Lands. Betrayal does not bring a kingdom, only destruction. The moment shakes Kovu to his core. The hyenas scream for him to attack, but another voice rises louder, the voice within. Suddenly, Kovu turns, not on Simba, not on Kiara, but on the hyenas. With a mighty roar, he attacks them, driving them from the Pride Lands. The lions freeze in disbelief. Kiara can't believe what she's seeing, and when the dust settles, Kovu falls to his knees before Simba. "Forgive me. I was weak. I almost betrayed everything, but Kiara's love brought me back." And here comes the shocking truth. The betrayal was real, but at the final moment, Kovu chose to break the cycle his mother planted in him. He did not win as a king, but as someone who finally chose love over hate. Simba, exhausted, looks at him for a long time before whispering, "True strength is defeating yourself." Peace returns to the Pride Lands, but the scars remain. The lions who saw Kovu's betrayal will never fully trust him again. Simba will never forget how close he came to losing it all. And Kiara, she remains torn between the love she still feels and the betrayal that nearly destroyed her family. In the end, Kovu sits alone on a small rock far from Pride Rock, staring up at the stars. Zira's voice still haunts him, but this time it's met by Kiara's words. "We are one." And the question lingers, did Kovu truly conquer his darker self? Or will betrayal rise again in a moment of weakness? And so we leave you with this. If you were in Simba's place, would you forgive Kovu after what he did? Or is betrayal a wound that can never truly heal?